welcome everyone to the regular meeting of the Preston City Council on Monday, June 23rd, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order and please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, Sean?
Dylan Meyer.
Yes.
Matt Girardi.
Yep.
Lisa Buddy.
Yep.
Adam Ryder.
Yes. Number 4, approval of agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve agenda.
Second.
And roll call.
Lisa Buddy.
Yes.
Matt Girardi.
Yep.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Dylan Meyer.
Yes.
Alright, and don't think we have anybody here for public comment. I think Wade is all here, so we'll skip that part. Oh, actually, I skipped over number 5, okay. So, number 5, public hearing for budget amendment number 2. And I'm assuming we need a motion.
Motion to
I'll
open.
make a motion to open the public hearing for budget amendment number 2.
I'll second it.
And roll call.
Matt Girardi.
Yep.
Dylan Meyer.
Yep.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Lisa Buddy.
Yes.
And I do not see anybody here to speak on behalf of it.
And there's been no comments received at City Hall.
Okay. Is there any questions or discussion on that?
And I think we reviewed it last meeting. Just a few things that were forgotten in the first amendment, so.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for budget amendment number 2.
Second.
And roll call?
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Matt Girardi.
Yep.
Dylan Meyer.
Yes.
Lisa Buddy.
Yes.
Alright. Now we'll skip over the public comment for number 6. So number 7, consent agenda. Any questions or comments on that?
Any issues with Ollie's Garage?
I'm sorry?
As far as the alcohol license?
Nope.
Ollie's, perfect. Now Ollie's asked, so.
Yep.
It's
Feeling for me. Good question. Anything else on that?
Eric looked at the fence boundaries for Matt Johnson and everything's good there too.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to consent agenda.
I will second it.
Roll call?
Dylan Meyer.
Yes.
Lisa Buddy.
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Matt Girardi.
Yep.
Alright, number 8, resolution 2024-34, approval of budget amendment number 2.
I'll make a motion to approve budget amendment number 2.
I will second it.
And roll call?
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Lisa Buddy.
Yes.
Dylan Meyer.
Yep.
Matt Girardi.
Yep.
Okay, number 9, resolution 2024-33, approving wages for fire department officers. I've got Randy here, I'm sure he'll want to speak on that.
Oh, so yeah, it was mostly just a minor change from last year to this year.
I changed just because the roster, Bill was on it before and he's no longer on as an officer, so they dispersed it differently. Same amount of $1,400 just dispersed over
The 3 of us instead of the
the
4 of us.
3 instead of 4.
Okay.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2024-33.
Second.
And roll call?
Dylan Meyer.
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Lisa Buddy.
Yes.
Matt Girardi.
Yep.
Okay, number 10, discussion and consider approval of lease agreement with Preston Family Chiropractic in the incubator building next door.
Yeah, Alex has been in business over at the incubator building for a year now, and he's expressed interest in continuing his business there and agreed to a lease about $200 a month for year 1. $200 a month, city will maintain. Nothing's really changed on the agreement itself that we've had in the past.
Did we ever get the door in the back for him or something? Looking for a stone door or something?
On the back. he
Or
was-
something to increase airflow or something?
He was good with the one on the front, because
Okay.
it has helped with the window there.
Okay,
And there is a screen door in the back that he can open.
okay, perfect. I just
We're
don't
just
get asked.
yeah, we're just
Okay.
looking for.
Yeah, I think it's great. He does a phenomenal job.
He's very busy, so, yeah.
I'll make a motion to, approve the lease agreement for Preston Family Chiropractic.
I will second it.
And roll call?
Jill Meyer,
Yes.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Matt Charity,
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Buddy.
Yes.
Number 11, discussion on length of service award program, LOASP for volunteer firemen.
So yeah, basically, they finally got this push, they've been trying it for a couple of years now. And now it's finally signed into law. So it's, yeah, the length of service award program, basically to hopefully get volunteers on the fire department and to retain them. And basically, you can have, they've got it kind of set up here on general, how some of the other departments are gonna probably be doing this. So basically, you get points for every, say, meeting you make, calls you make, trainings, hours that you work at the station, all this stuff. And if you meet the maximum points, the way I read this, the city can put in up to $500 per member. And with fire departments with $100,000 or less, of their annual budget, the state will match that 3-to-1. So if we maxed out, say 500, the state would be pushing at 1,500 per member, per year, if they meet, you know, the full points system here, so. It was just a thing that, I mean, it's been, the last couple of weeks, it's been all brand new, so. I just see that we have to have a list submitted by July 15th, and I have to send in like a point system for the criteria before July 1st, so. There's more information yet to be coming yet. I'm not 100% sure on whether it goes into like a 401k account type deal, or if they have the option of just taking a cash and run or what, but, I figure it's a pretty huge thing for the state to match 3-to-1 on anything to kind of retain members and
Is there a
encourage them to
minimum?
show up and participate in more things.
Minimum years before they'll start adjusting money, since it's a length of service, or does it start from, you know, if somebody's on the department for 1 year, they can start, getting this perk?
I roughly Googled it a little bit too and hope to attend the webinar whenever that's scheduled. And,
Yeah, so there's a lot of details that aren't
Yeah.
ironed out yet.
Gotcha.
Typically, they like, after 5 years of service. So
I see.
someone's in the fire department for 5 years, generally at age 55, 65, they can start getting retirement benefits. That's one little thing I did read, I don't know if there's other payout options or not. It can be funded by either the municipality and or the fire district. It's not funded by the members. So it's just to increase retention of experienced volunteers. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of guidelines and getting it set up, but we don't have a lot of details from besides what I put in your packet. We had the registration in your packets and just the email that Landon had sent me, and then the website address is where, yeah, I just.
And I think this does fall in the hands of, say, part-time police employees, or the reserve officers. They can sign up for this program, and I think EMS
I
can
think
also.
EMS can as well, I do.
But since they're not a city organization, I'm not sure how that works.
Mhm.
But I figured at least the first steps, I was just gonna maybe, make you guys aware of what it is, and, kind of learn the benefits of, trying to get more volunteers on. But that I'll get a list submitted to them, and just get the ball rolling.
At
and then-
least be able to
Yeah.
submit the list and register, whether or not we follow through with it, cost-wise or not, but
Yeah.
just to.
So it's $500 total max from the city, or $500 a member total max from the city?
Max per member,
Okay.
yeah. So, I'm not sure, I haven't talked to any of the other departments yet to see what they're doing yet, but,
Okay.
so I'm sure the whole county can kind of jump on board and all be kind of on the same page.
Okay.
But, no, I just wanna make you guys aware of it.
How many members do you have currently, rough guess, that would be over 5 years?
Oh, over 5 years.
Like, would this be, like, do you think it'd be retroactive, like, today for,
Right now, we probably got 20.
I was gonna say, yeah, probably 20. And of them people that would meet the, unfortunately, meet the criteria of trainings and meetings.
I would say maybe half would be able to get max
Yeah.
points.
And so we're not sure if it starts, since we just, it became, when we had this program, does it go retro? I don't,
okay.
Yeah,
those
Or
are
if
things,
it's 5 years from this date, does
Yeah.
then,
once we put the program in place, you know, how long, so we have
Yeah.
5 years to save up for this
Exactly,
max,
yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
that, those are the details we need to work out.
yeah, yep, so,
But as long as we can go ahead and get the registration in, say we're interested,
yeah.
yeah.
figure out the details.
No, hopefully next month, know more about it,
Perfect.
see what they're gonna do.
Questions or discussion on that?
So you're just looking to submit a list of,
Right now, yeah, I'm gonna
Guys
start the
on the
roster,
department.
and then, said the big thing before July 1st is to get the point system. So the fire chief must establish a point system for criteria before July 1st, but they already kind of have the one drawn out, so.
I was gonna say they're gonna have some rough.
I think I sent it to Kent Briggs, so he's down in Clinton County, he's on the, Fire Association Board, so I'll give him a call after this and
Okay.
talk to him more and get more
Yeah, there's
details.
sample, participation point systems, like for calls, you can get 25 points, training, you get 15 points, meetings 10, those kind of things, but you'll have to establish how many points they need to have and.
Yep.
You know.
I think it's a great system.
Well, hopefully it helps retain.
I said the state's trying to do as much as they can to get more volunteers on, like they have the tire program, so we can get tires for our vehicle once every 3 years at the state price. Just little incentives like that they're trying to push through. I know they've been trying to do, stuff with property taxes also, an increase, cause right now the tax credit's $250. I think they're trying to get it to $12.50, but I think all this money comes from the, gaming commission, if I remember. It's like all the lottery and casinos, I think, is what is kind of footing all this money, so, from the state side of things, so.
Well, thank you, David, for.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it on that.
Okay, number 12, lot discussion, Harvest Heights update.
Over the last few meetings, we've been trying to figure out how to incentivize to get some sales of lots going. So I had earlier reached out to Kelly Brown, and we discussed using TIF, and she thought it would be beneficial to go ahead, and when we have to update our urban renewal plan anyway, so maybe put some dollar amounts in there, kinda like budget for it, just because we're updating our plan, you only have to do that every so many years. Kinda like budgeting, if you don't use it, it's no big deal. So that way, if we decide to go through TIF, once we hear what the legislation's doing, in regards to TIF, we'd be able to make a better decision then. Let's see, I reached out to Dana and told her that we were trying to maybe offer some incentives for developers. Because in the past, she had told me there was a couple guys, people that were interested in building. And one of the guys said they wouldn't really wanna purchase the lot up front, but once they sell the house, then they buy the lot. So if that's something we could consider, saying, sure, get a spec house up, you sell it, you you pay for the lot then, and then you continue to go on.
Basically, they would build a house, we'd sell it, they'd buy the lot, and then they would turn around and sell the lot to whoever just bought it, or bought the house.
Or it would be kind of configured, did just off the top of our head, just kind of explained it. We would have to go through our bond attorney to make sure this incentive is set up correctly, you know, in conjunction with the sale of the house somehow. Just kind of getting the ball rolling on her end of things, and, Marla Quinn is also looking out, she's helping me look for, what other cities have done. And one of the cities she contacted is the one that said, go through your bond attorney to make sure any incentives you do offer to get set up prior to. And then, she has clerks meetings over the different counties. And, she said she will reach out at those meetings to others that could possibly share some insight of what they've done in the past too, so. We've got to just maybe budgeting out of the general fund and saying, okay, we're gonna budget $10,000 for down payment assistance or first-time homeowners or payback programs. So those things you can just budget for as opposed to, you know. So the ball's rolling on options at least, and hope to learn more by the next couple of meetings so we can proceed. So all I had on that.
Any questions or comments on that? All right, well, then we'll move on to number 13, discuss and consider approving selling the Digger Derrick. I know we don't have a full council tonight, so I don't know if you had anything to say on that, Cheryl, or we just want to table it till the next meeting.
No, we had, electric committee met with Ray and, Matt Peterson, Lisa and Ray and I talked about the pros and cons of getting it fixed, how many times it was used, how much money we've spent, or what would we save if we got it running compared to what it's gonna cost to fix it, and it definitely doesn't pay to fix it.
Yeah, I
so.
think Ray said that they used it in the last 9 years 15 times to put small poles in, and to compare the cost that Gruen puts the poles in for us,
Wasn't even
yeah, it wasn't even close, so.
Yeah, and Matt may have some more information to offer and, you know,
Yep.
give his recommendations too, but we'll just table that for now, it doesn't have to go for sale or anything. We'll, discuss that next time.
All right, sounds good. For other business, we got department admin updates. Speak on that, Cheryl.
Yeah, it kind of started with the, as far as the electric goes, like we just mentioned that the committee met, and we also talked about, Ellis's request to locate the place of the transformer towards the rear of his housing, as opposed to where Ray intended on putting it, like right in the middle. And he had said that he would pay the difference of getting it to where he wanted it, in case he ever built another one, it would be in the center. So Ray's getting different quotes on the 3 different options that we wanna see. How much does it cost if we go all the way versus how much of this and that, and the 3 lines and the 2 lines, and there are a lot of ifs and whats that, Ray's getting a bunch of quotes together before we may present that recommendation on where we decide to put it. And I put a draft, just a quick, Google on what kind of agreement, cause we want him to sign off, say, yeah, I'll pay for the rest of it. That was in your packet, I just wanted to update on that. The stormwater on West Street, I talked to Mark Rudin last week, and, I just wondered if he had reached out to the DOT yet, and he's like, they're, doing analyzing within their, origin design before they figure out the viability of actually reaching out to the DOT. So So this is gonna be a process that they have to really look at all the things and make sure it's gonna be a viable, it's gonna work basically, before, he reaches out to the DOT. So, we still need to schedule a water sewer meeting. Tim was off work last week. And basically, he would like to schedule it when Marburger could be there, so maybe potentially some morning when, first thing before people go to work. And, you know, that way Marburger could be there to figure out if connecting the 4-inch to the 8-inch is gonna work. So there's, but he's willing to meet anytime, and those are just some basic questions that he's gotta figure out, so if we can get that lined up, that's what we'll work on. This is still the sewer connection to Ellis property is being done tomorrow. There's a post on Facebook that we are closing the street because, Margaret has to, the road's been cut, so Margaret has to bore under that, so. That's gonna be done tomorrow. Let's see. We talked about the lot purchase. Again, we'll have to have the water sewer meeting. Harvest Heights, we talked about that. I included a list in your packet of the list that council put together on things that they'd like the city staff to do, and those, just a few updates on what they continue to look at that every day and get some things off that list. The nuisance update. Marla Quinn, since we haven't met as a committee yet, she didn't know exactly how much of her involvement. Since she was in town and looked at everything, and after their meeting that this was discussed, she thought a better option maybe was to go to a building inspector, other than her full-blown nuisance abatement. So she reached out to a retired building inspector that worked for the city of Iowa City, and he now lives in Tipton, and he is interested in taking a look to see what he can do to, she thought he'd be a great fit to help us out in those. So if we can schedule a nuisance committee meeting along with this guy from Tipton, maybe we can work out some details, see what he has to offer, and report back and see how things, maybe go that route instead of spending money on ECIA and having, you know,
The same result.
that big plan and same results, so. That was her recommendation, so. And I think that's about all I had for updates. Unless anybody had anything else that stood out. Oh, Rick Sieverding did approach me, the vacant lot here over on Farley Street. He just stopped in Friday and asked if the city was selling, and I said, yeah, it's for sale. He's looking for a place to put up a nice shed, because when he may lose his storage capabilities when his parents pass. So he wants to build something in town, but is looking for building options, so. I don't know if that's something the city would consider, but he told me to just ask. I don't know anyone's thoughts on that, whether
I think
typically.
it's worth considering, but I think we need to talk with whatever.
I thought we've turned down others just building just sheds on a lot, one of them being myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we have to ask, and that's what I told him up front, he said, but I'll ask, so just wanna go out there that he did ask, and if they would ever consider, he is interested.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Matt. I mean, you know, we kind of set the precedent that I think our preference would be to have houses on those lots if we can, you know, something for that, so.
Is there any lots in the, business park out there that are open? Like, you know, I'm just thinking, like, if you can't build a shed on this lot, is there anywhere around town that you can? You know
That's what I
what I mean?
was thinking too.
Say Plastics would've had it bought up by now.
Well, true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking like, you know, we could say, no, can't build a shed there, but
Yeah.
man, getting no income off of that, you know, versus getting something off of it, you know, especially if there's no other options for anybody to build a shed at, like, I don't think there's any more lots out in anything out there, so I think that's something to think about, maybe
That's it, yeah.
yeah.
He said it wouldn't be just a, you know, a light bulb on it, it'd be nice when,
Yeah.
whatever, but.
Yeah, might be something good too, we got a few people gone tonight to get their
Absolutely.
feedback on it too.
Absolutely.
Right, right. Yeah, I told him I'd throw it out there, so. We can, I'll keep that on the agenda for more consideration, but I'll let him know your first instinct on responses, but we'll probably keep that on the agenda in case.